Shabbat Shalom, peace and power. It's B. Michael, a.k.a. Mikael Corbin Yahoo, here with you today on this beautiful Shabbat. Pray every one of you all are doing well, that you're healthy, that you're in good spirits, that you're clear-minded, that you're, focused on what your focus is. Truly so. Want to just provide some encouragement, actually some words of wisdom prayerfully that you all receive in the spirit which it is given. That's in love. Everything is in love. Everything I say is with love. I also want to say, before I say anything, that all my rights are reserved. They're restored and never waived at any time for any matter. Everything I'm going to say is without prejudice. It's just from the heart. I love that my brother Create says all that in his one stack, keeping it a stack. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my brother Create. Shout out to all the people pursuing and living and loving truth. You know what I mean? That's the key. And so with that, I want to reflect on a passage and also provide some application to it. The passage is Revelation 18:4. It does say in Revelation 18:4, come out of her, my people. Speaking of Babylon, come out of her, my people, lest you partake in her sins and receive of her plagues. Come out of her, my people, lest you partake in her sins and receive of her plagues. And so when we look at this a lot, we're looking at this spiritually, and I cannot deny that there is a major spiritual import to that. Okay, that is dealing with a lot of mysteries of iniquity, right? Secrets of lawlessness that abound in our day and time. And what that is speaking about on the spiritual plane, right, is understanding who you serve. As for me and my house, in the words of Yahushua ben Nun, we shall serve Yah. And how do we serve Yah? We serve Yah by keeping the commandments of Yah, obeying the laws, the statutes, the right rulings, right? The ordinances of Yah, following the instructions that are laid out in the Torah, right? And so as we do that, we are being called out of Babylon, as Revelation 18:4 tells us to do, and being summoned unto the kingdom. Peace and power, Brother Shelton. What's up, young lion? And so back to what I'm saying, by loving Yah with all your heart, soul, and strength, and loving your neighbor as yourself, you're fulfilling the sovereign law of Yah, right? And the prophets. And so the way, again, we go about coming out of Babylon spiritually is by keeping the commandments, the instructions, the right rulings, the laws, the statutes and ordinances of Yah, the commandments, right? If you love me, keep my commandments, right? Even the Messiah said that. I'm well. Always good seeing you, man, and all the other ace heads. You know what I'm saying? No doubt, man. And Mr. That's so funny. But I love you, brother, man. No question. I'm well. I pray all is well with you and yours. Just sharing some insight, my guy. I'm just dealing with a lot of things about understanding who we are and how we are in a real matrix. You know what I'm saying? We talked about this back at ACE. And so it's just becoming more and more clear every day. And really, I want to say this. I want to say this imperatively, that when you're dealing with scriptures, you're not dealing with a religion, right? This is nothing about religion, right? Although it has parts and parcels of religion, what the scriptures are ultimately talking about is a kingdom, okay? And as kingdom citizens, we are allegiant and to be loyal to that kingdom which the Most High has given us. Just shouted you out, brother Create. Yes, sir. Shabbat Shalom to you. And so as we are seeking to come out of Babylon, we have to understand, just like in the movie The Matrix, there are ins and outs, loopholes that we have that we are able to detangle ourselves and even to separate ourselves and to come out of this matrix that Yah has called us to do so. He has commanded us to do so. And this is something that I'm really realizing. And so this goes to every facet of Babylon, which we know today is Mystery Babylon and is operating under the agency of the Roman Empire, which has expanded to the empire of the city, which is ran by the Vatican. It is ran by Vatican City, London City, and the District of Columbia. Okay. The spiritual head is Vatican City. The economic head is London City. The political head is the District of Columbia, the military branch of it. And so all these three heads have a stranglehold on us as a people. And we have to know that it was created through the color of law, right? The color of law, policies, right? Regulations, things that they claim are law. But what's so deep is when you look at how the United Kingdom is established, it's established on the Magna Carta. Okay, the Magna Carta is the supreme law of the land, but with these policies that they have implemented, they have gotten away from that. Same thing with the United States of America, the Constitution for the United States of America, for the United States of America, just like each state has a constitution itself that guarantees the rights and immunities of the people. It guarantees the rights and the immunities of the people, right? We have rights and immunities, for instance, to travel. But when we file for our license, when we do registrations, the color of law is fictitious. It's something I would just suggest you Google. It's operating under the guise of law. It's not law. It's a policy that actually supplants your rights by offering you a privilege, right? And also traps you into their contract law, okay? And it all functions under what's called your straw man, the corporate entity that is created from your birth certificate, your social security number, and it just like traps you and ensnares you into a system where they're bleeding you of life. You're paying taxes all the time. For instance, income tax is a voluntary tax. When you file your first 1040, you are electing to participate in that voluntary system, right? I just found something called the revocation of election, which you can actually come out of that particular matter. You don't have to participate in federal income taxes, which is unconstitutional. And that's the point. You have a right to not participate in that particular process, which the Constitution for the United States guarantees. But if you don't know your rights, guess what? You have no rights. You have the right to travel. You don't need a driver's license and insurance unless you're operating in commerce, right? Unless you are driving for money, right? If you're like transporting people or transporting material, if you are a courier of some sort, or if you're a CDL driver, if you are operating in commerce, if you're driving in commerce, well, yes, you do need a license and registration and insurance. But if you're traveling as a private individual, guess what? You don't need any of that. The Constitution gives you a right to travel unimpeded. But what happens is they can actually like transfer a right to a privilege. And they can even coerce you to do so. And it really is done through our ignorance. And so they exploit our ignorance. And this is why the prophet Hosea told us people perish for lack of knowledge. We perish for lack of knowledge. And so this is what Revelation 4:18 is really telling us, to awaken to the reality of who we are, what power and authority we have as the people. Because here it is. The government derives its authority from the governed, from the people. We have to consent and contract in order for that government to function. If we don't consent and we don't contract, then there's nothing that the government can do. There's nothing that the government can do without the consent and the agreement of the people. Okay? And this is why the scriptures tell us to wake up to who we are serving. Which kingdom are you serving? Which king do you serve? Do you serve the mighty one of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and obey his law, statutes, and right rulings? Or do you obey the law of Caesar? That's all it comes down to. And the scriptures are telling us to come out of her, lest you receive of her, partake in her sins, and receive of her plagues. Because all this fictitious stuff is coming down. When we're seeing the dollar is about to implode. If you're not getting real currency, if you're not investing in silver and gold and other commodities and real estate, for instance, and things of that nature, well, then you're literally leaving yourself open for the enslavement, right? And so you have to be able to know how to move and operate and even protect yourself. You have to protect yourself by all means. And so I just wanted to come in and, just drop that seed into the soil of your minds and have you all do the research. Look up color of law, Brother Shelton. Go do your research. Look up revocation. I got all the ace heads up in here. Devontae McCutcheon, what's up, young lion? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, I pray y'all staying on your path. I pray that y'all being empowered and that you're pursuing, truth and righteousness and love and light, real talk. And, don't let this world get you deluded, because that's what they want. They want to keep us in these cycles of ignorance, in the lower vibrations, and keep us in that. And that's another thing we got to come out. We got to come out these low vibrations. I even say that to myself, making sure that we're operating on the higher frequencies of life. Because when we stay trapped in those lower vibrations, we're not going to hear what the spirit is telling us to do and commanding us to do and instructing us and advising us and inspiring us to do, because that is where we're going to find our resolution. That's where we're going to find our redemption. That's where we're going to find our liberation even, right? But if we're trapped in these cycles and this music that they're putting out here and casting these spells that are so deadly, if you're looking at our communities and what is happening to our young sisters and how they're making our young sisters whores and just Jezebels, and you look at our young brothers and our lions, we got misguided anger. Peace and power, brother McCutcheon. We got all this misguided anger and frustration and this fratricide that we're carrying out. We got to come out of that. We got to reverse these cycles, y'all. We got to turn this darkness into light. We have to. And it's for our survival, for our children's survival, right? We got to make sure our children are going to inherit a society that they can thrive in, not just survive. We got to get out of survival mode. We got to come out of that, right? There's so many things we got to come out of. We got to come out of this beast, demon time, for real. We on demon time now, too. We on demon time now. We got to come out of that. We don't understand we are the children of the Most High. We are the children of light. And the world does not want us to awaken to that. The world does not want us to awaken to the reality of who we are, which is the children of light, right? And anyway, we create all the trends. We have the most influence. If you look at the world wants to be us so bad, but they don't want to be us. We have that much influence. You have all these influencers. What are they influencing us to do? Right? So come out of her. Come out of all these illusions. Wake up to reality. And that's all Babylon is. It is an illusion. It is confusion and illusion. We have to awaken to the reality of who we are as the children of the Most High and bring forth the kingdom of heaven, which is all about justice and truth and love and righteousness and peace, things that we are all desirous of. We're all desiring of that. But if we're not pursuing that, and if we're not implementing that into our life, and we're not living for that, well, then we're going to only be trapped in these cycles that are keeping us on these low vibrations and keeping us enslaved to a system that has no intent on protecting us or even, giving us our rights. So I just want to drop that off. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Always, Brother McCutcheon. But yeah, much love to you all. I'm going to sign off. Shabbat shalom. Yeah, do with this as you will. May the Spirit, be given to those who are pursuing it and seeking it in life and love. All right? Shalom, shalom.